Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back another video from Geekdom 101, and today we are checking out the origin of Super Saiyan 3. I saw this pop up. I was a bit like, So I thought about it. I was like, we never really got a proper explanation in the anime, to my knowledge anyway, of how Goku acquired this transformation. Very iconic, very cool looking, and only Goku. I was about to say only Goku has it, but that's not true. Gotenks as well has it. But yeah, I thought we'll check it out. Let Geekdom explain it. Find out where it came from. Let's do it.
I may not speak for all of us, but I definitely speak for myself. Since I was a kid and I first saw Super Saiyan 3 and saw Goku utilize that transformation against Majin Buu in the Majin
So freaking cool. So freaking cool.
Buu saga, I've often wondered, how did Goku
Yeah.
even get Super Saiyan 3? We know that Goku unlocked the form in the other world during the 7-year break between Cell and Buu.
Yeah, like while I was dead.
But what did Goku really do? And how did he even know that there was a power above Super Saiyan 2? For decades, it's been a mystery, and today I
Let's
attempt
find
to
out.
unravel this mystery on this edition of Dragon Ball Mysteries.
Alright. Cool. Classic. Dragon Ball Mysteries. I want to watch his Unseen as well. I'll probably check that out as well. Like Goku versus in the alternate future, in it where he fights Frieza and King Cold. I think that'll be cool.
I'm going to attempt to unravel this mystery here on this video, but I want to, first of all, say two important things. Number one, if you want to learn more about Super Saiyan 3, the form itself, and what we know, a
The
complete
transformation guides are really good, man.
package of what the form actually is, check out the transformation guide here on the channel covering Super Saiyan 3. And secondly, a lot of what I discuss here on this video is going to be purely theoretical. However, I try to make my theories more well thought out than a lot of other people, and I'll sit here and cram for hours trying to figure out what makes the most sense. So understand that most of this video is purely theoretical. However, it's an educated theory, not just
Educated
one
guesses.
pulled out of my rear end. Because there's plenty of those on YouTube. So, first of all, I want to examine the facts. Let's look at the facts.
The facts.
Let's look at what we definitively know about Super Saiyan 3 and look at the clues given to us by the series on how Goku unlocked it. After the Cell games, Gohan was proclaimed the strongest fighter on Earth, and Goku decided to stay dead because he felt like his presence on Earth created too many problems and got in the way of there being peace on the planet. And to a degree, he was kind of right on that. So
Yeah,
he
he's
decided to
kinda
stay
right.
dead. During that time, Gohan grew up. Vegeta continued training on his own, even though he gave up fighting because Goku was dead and was able to unlock Super Saiyan 2. But judging by the end of the Cell saga, there was nothing at all that hinted that there was a transformation above Super Saiyan 2. In fact, if you go back to 1993, it wasn't even called Super Saiyan 2. It was called the Super Saiyan Beyond Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan Grade 5.
Right, so it was never given like the two, which indicates, that there should be a numerical ordering in transformation.
Now, the reason why I bring this up is because if you go back and reread or rewatch the anime, Super Saiyan 1 is definitely teased several chapters / several episodes before we actually see Goku power up
Turn
and
into it.
transform
Yeah, yeah,
against
yeah.
Frieza in that saga. And then in the Cell saga, it was almost like they teased going beyond Super Saiyan throughout the entirety of the arc, to where Vegeta and Trunks and of course Goku would figure out how to use the Super Saiyan grades. Grade 2, Grade 3, full power Super Saiyan, and of course Super Saiyan 2 was unlocked by Gohan at first. And the grades are sort of like intermediary steps, and Goku figured out early that unlocking those was not really the correct path to achieving what would become Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah, like he points it out as Trunks is doing it against Cell. Goku's like, yeah, but it's it slows you down. You can't hit your opponent, so this isn't like the way. And he was very good at figuring those bits out. So looking at this, I see where he's going. That it does make sense that Goku would figure out how to then utilize that into a further transformation. Okay.
He knew it. He was smart enough to figure out that the road that
Yeah, when it came to fighting, Goku was a genius, yeah.
Vegeta and Trunks took was not the best path. This is why he would teach Gohan to avoid using that and just focus on getting Super Saiyan in the natural state, which is what would become grade 4 / full power Super Saiyan. And that was the road. That was the pathway to unlock Super Saiyan 2 down the road. And Gohan was the first one to do it. Did a whole video about this called Super Saiyan 2 Gohan Explained, where I talked about Gohan's relationship.
A lot of video plugs in this one, love it.
To Super Saiyan 2, and really went over the details about what triggered the transformation and how it actually works. So check that out. So Gohan beat Goku to the punch. He unlocked it first. And we know that at some point during the 7-year time skip, both Goku and Vegeta also were able to reach Super Saiyan 2 after Gohan did. One thing we don't know for sure is who got there first, but based on how the manga sort of treats Goku and Gohan during this time as opposed to Vegeta, I'm going to theorize that Goku figured out Super Saiyan 2 before Vegeta did, only because Goku had the formula on how to use the full powered version before Vegeta.
Makes sense. It does make sense. If he's got the knowledge of what Gohan needs to do to transform to it, then surely he should be able to tap into it before Vegeta, who doesn't know, does it himself.
And thus, he sort of had his mind in the game. He sort of had that knowledge or that presumption, that hypothesis internally that would pay dividends for Gohan and later Goku. But we definitely know they both got the form, because they would show this off during the early parts of the Majin Buu saga, specifically during the Majin Vegeta part. But during the
they had the lightning zappy zaps.
Entire Majin Vegeta fight, Goku chose not to use Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta had no idea that Goku had another form, and presumably neither did the audience who was reading this in Japan or watching the anime for the
No one did. No one had a clue apart from Toriyama, surely.
first time. But Goku did, and we saw him debut that form against Majin Buu. Now, the reason as to why Goku chose not to use Super Saiyan 3 is because he knew that Super Saiyan 3 was a stamina guzzler, and he knew that if he fought Majin Buu and used Super Saiyan 3, it would drain the remaining time he had on Earth via the one-day allowance clause that fortune teller Baba gave him. But when Majin Buu and Babidi attacked West City, that's when Goku realized, I'm not going to do anything in Super Saiyan 2. I have to use SS3 to be able to at least compete with this guy. And that's what he did. So that's our first clue right there. Our first clue is that Goku developed this technique in the afterlife, but knew that it was a stamina guzzler. But even Goku didn't realize how much stamina it took until the final fight with Kid Buu,
where he's actually alive and he's feeling it properly.
When he was unable to transform into Super Saiyan 3 because his body was burnt out. But Goku, being dead in the afterlife and having an afterlife body, was able to maintain the form longer.
Because it wasn't straining on him as much, yeah.
But when he was mortal, it was even harder to transform. And that's kind of the problem with Super Saiyan 3. So what that tells me, as somebody who studied this franchise up and down start to finish, is that Goku didn't develop Super Saiyan 3 or discover it until shortly before his appearance at the tournament, beginning his one day back on Earth.
That would make sense, because then if he did have this, he would take the time to learn to use it and adapt it and then perfect it. Yeah, okay.
I don't think Goku had trained enough in Super Saiyan 3 to truly understand how that form worked, or to truly get his body, whether it be his dead body or his alive body, his body to get accustomed to that form. So if there's a 7-year time skip, then that means that Goku probably learned it right around the 6-year mark, or maybe just a few weeks or a couple,
maybe the 6.5-year mark,
months before the tournament would actually begin. Super Saiyan 3 was probably Goku's trump card at the time, and he knew it. But what he didn't know was, like I mentioned, how many issues it had. I think the key to figuring out Super Saiyan 3 is by looking at Super Saiyan 2.
The theory.
So how do I think it happened? I think the key to unlocking Super Saiyan 3 is by going back and looking at Super Saiyan 2. During the 7-year time skip, I feel like at some point early in the 7-year time skip, Goku was able to reach Super Saiyan 2 like Gohan did during the Cell game. And I feel like during that time, Goku trained, of course, in the afterlife with the North Kaio and maybe some other, other world characters. And I feel like this allowed him to fully master Super Saiyan 2. And I feel this way because if you look at the Majin Buu saga, the early part, especially with Goku fighting Yakun and later Majin Vegeta, Goku has no sweat and no issues whatsoever using Super Saiyan 2. Even Vegeta recognized that Goku Super Saiyan 2 was still above his, which means that Goku probably felt more comfortable using the form than even Vegeta did. I outlined this in my Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta explained video. We went into detail about the Vegeta choice to become Majin and how Goku's SS2 was higher than Vegeta's. And to me, that means that Goku was very comfortable fighting in Super Saiyan 2 throughout most of the 7-year time skip. Leave a like down below if you agree, and if you don't agree, leave a like anyways and leave a comment because I'm almost done here. We're about to get to the good part. So if we analyze those clues I already discussed and then also look at how Goku's transformation against Majin Buu looked and the fact that it took some time, that tells me that the fact it took so long for Goku to finalize that transformation means he had not quite yet figured it out. So that adds once again to my suspicion that he didn't discover this form until shortly before the Majin Buu saga.
Yeah, it is a long transformation. When you look at how they transform into Super Saiyan 2, it's literally just like instant. It's not like it's like boom, like like this one he's like this hair's taking ages to grow and everything, and he's like okay, that's hurting a bit.
But how did he discover it? Well, let's go back and look at the Cell saga and look at his goal. Goku was able to by himself figure out grade 2, grade 3, full power, and he knew there was something above, and he looked at Gohan and said, okay, well, Gohan has all this potential. When you take the human Saiyan blood and combine it, you've got this incredibly highly potentialed warrior who is more emotionally tethered to the human race than even Goku is. Now you have to remember that in the other world, Goku did nothing but train. Yes, the anime did have the other world tournament. We saw that with Paikuhan and all that stuff, but that happened early in the 7-year skip. We're talking about deeper near the end. I think during this time, Goku was still getting training from the North Kaio-sama, and I think Kaio, and you have to remember this, Kaio may have helped him because Kaio already knew, King Kai already knew the Kaioken. It's his technique. And thus, that means that he knew how to multiply one's power internally. The question is, how does one multiply one's power internally without actually using the Kaioken? For Saiyans, it's figuring out new transformations or just lots of training. Goku did nothing but train in the other world. Train and probably eat. No quality time with Gohan or with Chi-Chi. There was none of that. All he did was just train. Now, here's the kicker. He taught Gohan to channel his anger to become a Super Saiyan, and then Gohan once again got angry after training to become Super Saiyan 2. So obviously, anger is the key. And I think this is a big reason as to why Goku not only mastered Super Saiyan 2, but unlocked Super Saiyan 3 before Vegeta ever did, and Vegeta never got Super Saiyan 3. And that's because while Vegeta was on Earth with his wife Bulma and his son Trunks, he was kind of still training, but no longer having that thirst to surpass Kakarot. Goku, on the other hand, didn't have a family to kind of soften him up. Remember what they say in Rocky? Remember what they said in Rocky? What Mick said? Women weaken knees. And obviously Goku felt that way because Chi-Chi was alive and he was not. So he spent that time getting angry and focusing on his power, training and training and training, getting angrier and angrier, and focusing on his anger based on things that he had witnessed in his lifetime. And that's what led to Goku unlocking Super Saiyan 3, probably by complete accident. Like what happened with Trunks in the anime version of the Trunks special, based on the same thing Gohan did. Anger, focus, and a lot of training. If Vegeta had to spend time with the family for, a couple hours a day or even more than that, Goku spent that time training. And I know a lot of folks respect Vegeta's training acumen, and I do as well. It was during this time of peace that Goku didn't take to the piece, did not take to it at all because he had no distractions. He was by himself. And I think that Kaio-sama, aka King Kai, was probably one of the ones egging him on to get stronger because what else is there to do in the other world?
Nothing.
I also think in my own head that Goku did a lot of meditating. And I know that Dragon Ball Superhero tried to make believe, pretend like he didn't know what meditation was, but a lot of it was internal. He had to focus on his hard life, maybe thinking about his friends dying, and he had to fully master Super Saiyan 2 before crossing over into the next evolution, the most primal one, which was Super Saiyan 3. I don't think Goku went into this training knowing for sure that there even would be a Super Saiyan 3. I feel like he may have suspected there was something above 2, because up until that point, 2 had been the perfect form for combat, and even 3 has a lot more shortcomings than even 2 does, which is why Vegeta stuck with 2 over 3. But I also think that whether Goku suspected that there was a Super Saiyan 3 or not, I still feel like he did not really learn that transformation until shortly before the Majin Buu saga, and thus did not have enough time to truly test it. And there was probably very few people in the other world who could have really fought him in Super Saiyan 3. Let's not forget that Beerus and Whis and those characters were nowhere to be found around this time. So I can say there may have been like a really strong warrior in the other world that could have challenged Goku or trained him or whatever. But I still think that this was discovered by Goku, sort of like how Gohan discovered Super Saiyan in later 2. Just training, focusing on his anger and his rage, and putting it together to find the next evolution. Super Saiyan 3 really does feel like a sequel to Super Saiyan 2 and 1.
Definitely,
and Toriyama himself did state in an interview many, many years after the manga ended that Super Saiyan 2 and 3 were really just sort of evolutionary change of the first one. When we get to like Super Saiyan God or any of the new kind of mutations we see in Super, or even the stuff in GT, totally different pathway. Super Saiyan 3 seems to be the peak of what a traditional full-blooded Saiyan can achieve, and I think it's not too different from the previous 2 forms. Take care and have a good day.
I mean, I suppose in Super at the start against Beerus, he is far more comfortable using Super Saiyan 3 as well, isn't he? So he has more. He's had time to get used to using that form and been training in it then after the fact. So yeah, I like that video. That was cool. That makes sense. I'll take that. Obviously, it's not fact. It's a very, very well educated theory. Geekdom's the man for it all. He's been doing it for years. But yeah, I want to check out his Dragon Ball Unseen #1 as well. He's got a preview for #2, but we'll just check out #1. Interested to see, because yeah, it's untold stories of Dragon Ball, which I think is really, really interesting. But make sure you check out my Etsy shop. Link is in the description to purchase my t-shirt that I've designed. I love it. Buying that helps support the channel. And thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, link is in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all I ask, but it's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys very much for that. And thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you want to, leave comments below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. I'll see you guys next time.